Welcome back to JJ Isaacson Field here in Omaha and our presentation of postseason baseball on the Corn Belt League Network. We're halfway finished with the quarterfinal round, and we pick things up again today on this Friday night with our 3-6 matchup. The Haymakers going up against the Royal Blue Dogs. Tyler Reidy alongside Jaden Taylor. And Jaden, we saw some excellent baseball yesterday, high-intensity ball games, and tonight should be no different.
Yeah, some really good pitching matchups yesterday, and I think we're going to even see some better pitching matchups here today. If you're a pitcher duel type of guy, round one is where it's at right now. Really going to like what we're going to see here today. You mentioned a really good game yesterday, a pretty close game comparatively to what we've usually seen between the Filth Ballers and Red Raiders, and right after that, an incredible matchup between the 2-7 spot between the Black Sox and Crop Dusters. I'll be honest, I kind of saw that coming a little bit. The Black Sox were slowing down a little bit, didn't quite feel too comfortable the last game of the season, and the Crop Dusters made it interesting.
So let's take you through what happened yesterday. We had two quarterfinal games, and it started with the number 1 seed Filth Ballers going up against the 8-seeded Red Raiders. And Filth Ballers, not the typical dominant offensive performance that you usually get out of them, but they got the job done. 4-0 victory over the Red Raiders behind 5 shutout innings from Justin Drury. And then you look at that much closer game, the nightcap, the 2-7 Black Sox Crop Duster matchup. 5-3 win for the Black Sox in a back-and-forth game. There wasn't an inning that ended with a team in front until the 6th when the Black Sox turned a 3-2 deficit into a 5-3 lead. Cole Warner ended up going the distance with 7 innings in that one, but Black Sox just a highly competitive ball game taking down the Crop Dusters, and we got a good taste early on yesterday of what these postseason matchups are going to be all about.
Yeah, my apologies on that one for the Black Sox. Eli Sirkovich, that's my bad. I put that on the correct on there. But really good game from Sirkovich. You saw Brandon Krebs come in at the end, a little bit of Rylan Wallingford as well for the pitching staff for the Black Sox. Again, my apologies on the graphic on there. But again, it was an incredible game back and forth. I think the moment in the game that we really knew that the Black Sox had the ability to come back and could take over and win that one was that just chuck into the ground from Anthony Comfort after the little bunt infield single, the second of the day for Manny Fragoso to be able to get on first. And it was still a one-run game for the Crop Dusters. They still had the lead, still had one out in that, or still had a setup to get the out right after that. But Comfort really struggled after those last couple of innings. They took him out, and Braxton Wilhelm, what a way to just kind of fall through in a spot like that. Was able to start off pretty strong, but 2 walks and a hit by a pitch to bring 3 runners in, and that's an odd way to end your season.
Yeah, absolutely. So you take a look at how the bracket shapes up after yesterday's action. Filth Ballers and Black Sox moving on to Saturday's semifinals. The winner of the matchup you'll see next between the Haymakers and the Blue Dogs will be taking on the Black Sox in the 5 p.m. game, the later game on Saturday afternoon. Filth Ballers will await the winner of the Bombers and the Rail Riders, who we will see tonight. So let's take a look at how these two stack up. Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs. Haymakers come in at the number 3 position in the league with a record of 15-10, and their team ERA. This is something we've talked about throughout the back half of the season. Looking for a team that possibly could run with or even take down the Filth Ballers. Haymakers, with that excellent pitching staff, could be the one.
Yeah, they surely have 3 aces in this group. Cole Warner, Jack Swelch has been there as well. He's kind of a more relief guy, but outside of that, Aiden Erbaum and Caden Van Hill. Between those 3, Warner, Van Hill, as well as Erbaum have kind of been the 3 top guys, a three-headed monster between this pitching staff, and they've just done an incredible year all season long. The struggle a little bit has been the hitting, right? 6 different guys with an average above 290. However, the problem is 11 different players on this team have an average below 250, and 6 of them are below the Mendoza line at 200. So again, just the depth hitting-wise isn't quite there. The depth pitching-wise, however, is.
And unlike yesterday's 2 matchups, one team does not have a clean sweep over the other. The Haymakers have taken 3 out of the 4, but the Royal Blue Dogs did get 1, so they do have a taste of victory over the Haymakers this past regular season. So let's take a look at our impact players, starting with the man who just took home hitter of the week for the Haymakers, David Swanson, going 8 for 12. Remarkable OPS up near 1,700. A couple doubles, triples, showing off that extra base power. And Swanson, right at the top of that batting order in the leadoff spot today, should have a big impact.
Yeah, we talk about it. I think I put in the tweet for the hitter of the week. The hottest hitter on the hottest team had that kind of a week. It was kind of odd. Both of the top 2 vote getters were Haymakers for this past week's hitter of the week between David Swanson as well as Alec Villanueva. A lot of other weeks, Villanueva would have been able to take that title home, but Swanson took it off with an incredible week, and the biggest day for him, that 4-for-4 day up against the Filth Ballers, was just incredible. 3 singles and a triple in that one. He's just been a dominant force these past couple weeks.
And then how about Nick Carlson, the catcher for the Royal Blue Dogs? Look at what he's done this year. 339 batting average, 842 OPS. He's done it all for this Royal Blue Dogs team, and he's right in the middle of that batting order in the 3 spot. He's had some good action against the Haymakers this year, going 3 for 10 with a double, a couple runs batted in, and he'll need to anchor down that order today.
Yeah, again, I think really the top 4, top 5 guys can be the biggest guys for the Royal Blue Dogs here the majority of this season. Again, it's kind of the same way for both these 2 teams. The top of the order is very strong, but the depth has been the issue. That 5 through 9 spots kind of been really a rotating circle all season long of who can be in there to get those spots. But Carlson's playing with this team. Carlson, I really think, is just kind of a silent assassin in a way. Doesn't talk much, doesn't get too excited, doesn't get too emotional, but his swing is very consistent. He's very deliberate, very precise with his swing. Each and every day he goes really either up to the plate or out in the cages.
So let's get to the pitching matchup. We'll start with the Haymakers throwing Cole Warner out of Washburn University. He'll be making his 7th start, 9th appearance overall, and his last start was an absolute dandy against the Bombers 2 Sundays ago, and he went 7 innings, allowing 1 earned run. He struck out 9 and threw a complete game earned run shutout. He did give up the 1 run, but 123 pitches in that one, so you know he has it in him, and he's coming off a very well-rested week. Last appearance was out of the bullpen, but threw just 42 pitches in 3 1/3 innings on Saturday against the Filth Ballers. But you see the numbers, and you see what the Haymakers are so happy with in their pitching staff, led by him.
Yeah, Warner just seems to be getting better as the season goes on. He's going to really work a 3, sometimes 4 pitch mix. It's mainly the 3 pitch mix between the fastball, the curveball, and the sliders. Fastball's been touching really 84, 85. The slider, I really think, is the most devastating piece that he has. A 77 to 78 mile an hour slider that really cuts away really well to lefties, right? If a lefty-lefty matchup is not what you're going to want if you're this Royal Blue Dogs offense, because how well his off-speed is going to cut away to those lefties and get them to miss. That's going to be a big piece for Warner, as well how well he can make sure he stays in the zone. His first pitch strike percentage has bumped up each and every single game this season, and he's really, it's odd to say, in the dog days of summer, he's his best at postseason time.
Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs taking the field, being introduced. We've got postseason baseball coming your way next. A 3-6 quarterfinal matchup from JJ Isaacson Field. You're watching playoff baseball here on the Corn Belt League Network. Ready to go with first pitch for the third quarterfinal matchup in the Corn Belt League. Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs on a Friday evening in Omaha. Tyler Reidy and Jaden Taylor here with you. Cole Warner, the left-hander, taking the bump for the Haymakers, and he'll go up against this Royal Blue Dogs order started by the center fielder Lane Shires as we're about ready to go. And the first pitch from the southpaw is cut on and foul tip for strike one.
Warner's just been such efficient piece for the Haymakers this season. Again, we mentioned really the three-headed monster of this pitching staff, and Warner's really been the head of it the majority of the time. You also see Aiden Urbon there as well, but between those two, I think they've been really the top two guys a part of this pitching staff. They've just been consistent all season long. And a big thing, I talked to him earlier here today, biggest thing from him is just his piece, especially here today more than ever, is just he wants to have fun, understanding that it's summer ball. There's not as much pressure put on him in some areas at times, but a big thing for him here today is having fun, but understanding that there is that postseason atmosphere here. Making sure he calms himself down, but still stick to business.
2-2 on Lane Shires out of Northwest Missouri State. Comes in with a batting average of .283, and he has had himself a year against the Haymakers, going 3 for 10 with a triple on July 11th, a home run on July 22nd, and 8 runs scored in 4 games. He takes one just down and out of the zone. The catcher, Ryan Golden, looked like he was about ready to throw it around the horn, but instead a full count. 3-2 pitch from Warner. That one is in there, no doubt about it. Strike 3 called, and Shires is retired for out number 1.
Yeah, the strikeout's the big thing for Warner all season long, averaging just about 9 strikeouts per 7 innings. That's 4th in the Corn Belt League this season. He has just been a dominant force from that left side. Just continues to just keep getting better, like I mentioned, coming into through the rest of this season. About a 64% first pitch strike percentage, and that's going to be his biggest focus today when talking to him. His biggest emphasis, making sure he gets early in counts and then gets these Royal Blue Dogs batters a little bit off balance. That way he can really use his entire arsenal as much as possible.
0-1 the count on second baseman Ryan Eastham. And make it 0-2. Warner in that relief appearance, the 3 1/3 innings on Saturday against the Filth Ballers, was at his best in terms of strike percentage at over 71%, and a first pitch strike percentage up near 86%. So he was pumping that zone, gave up a couple earned runs, but kept the pitch count in a very, very manageable position, just 42 through over 3 innings.
But the oddest thing to talk about Warner with this matchup here, of all teams that's actually done decent up against Warner this season, it has been these Royal Blue Dogs. The lowest weak hit percentage of this season has been his 2 outings against these Royal Blue Dogs this year.
Dane Small goes down to a knee and makes the play on an opposite field ground ball. And 2 outs for Warner as he'll face our impact player Nick Carlson, the catcher.
Carlson, like I mentioned, just has a really beautiful swing that he's been able to work at both sides of the plate. One of 2 switch hitters on this team. Both him as well as Luke Killinger, who you're going to see here today, have been able to work at both sides of the plate, and that's a big advantage for them. They haven't seen too many lefties this year. I talked to Killinger a couple days ago. He's maybe batted from the right side maybe 5 times this year because he's barely seen maybe 2 or 3 lefties the whole year. So maybe definitely, I want to say Russ has working from both sides, but especially with Carlson used to working with lefties, maybe, or used to working with righties, maybe a little bit of a different look with Warner as a lefty.
1-1 the count on him. And he grounds this one in a quick glove by Cole Warner and flips to first for the outs. 3 up, 3 down, business as usual for Cole Warner as he holds the Royal Blue Dogs scoreless, and the Haymakers will come to bat when we return in the bottom of the first. Bottom of the first inning, Royal Blue Dogs and Haymakers in our third of 4 quarterfinals for the Corn Belt League Postseason. And for the Blue Dogs, it'll be Tanner Durazo out of Arizona Christian University taking them out. And Jaden, what do you have on the right-hander?
Yeah, Durazo is going to be a guy that's going to give you a long way. He has been going 6 or 7 innings almost every single time that he's gone up on the mound. 6 different times this season. He has gone 6 or more innings on those different times. And he's going to really work a 2-pitch mix, which is odd to see it of a guy that'll go that long. Works a 2-seamer and a slider. Does have a change he can use occasionally, but very rare you're going to see that change. The 2-seamer has a really good bite to it. Playing really in a bullpen with him, that thing's going to come in usually working like a 4-seamer, then just really bite into righties, right? The biggest thing for him, I think, here today, how well he can work on the inside to the top of this order. How well can he get them to be jammed on that inner half? He's going to be a really good guy. They're going to have to go him a long way here today, especially when he's going up against a guy like Warder, who already had a really good first inning.
David Swanson, the right fielder, will lead off for the Haymakers. You look at Durazo, he's the most efficient pitcher on the team with just under 16 pitches per inning, and the best strike thrower as well with a strike percentage of 66%, but that strike is single to right center field as David Swanson goes after the first pitch and gets himself aboard to lead off the first.
And that's sometimes the kryptonite a little bit for Durazo, a guy you mentioned is just going to fill up the strike zone very well with almost a 65% first pitch strike percentage. But the odd thing on the other end, a .313 batting average against him, a almost 40% hard hit ball percentage up against Durazo this season. So again, he's going to live in the zone very consistently. If you're the Haymakers, right, you have to find your pitch and find a barrel to it. If you do, you're going to be in good work.
And David Swanson with that single extends his hit streak to 8 games. He's now 13 for his last 21 as Durazo catches the outside corner for strike 1.
And 3 of those 6 games originally coming into this one were multi-hit games. So we got a guy that just consistently finds production here. And right after that, Alec Villanueva right here, the number 1 and number 2 guys in vote gets for the hitter of the week this past week. And they both got exactly what they deserved with how well they've been playing recently.
Fouled away by Villanueva. It's 0-2. Durazo, like Cole Warner, threw a shortened outing his last time up there. Going 3 innings, 64 pitches, and a start against the Red Raiders on Monday. Obviously saving his energy and his arm for the postseason. Gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 unearned runs, and struck out 2 in those 3 frames. Swanson is running, and that will take the double play out of effect as the play is made by Redding just in time as they get Swanson down the line. And check that Villanueva. Swanson goes to second.
Yeah, we talked about the hard hit ball percentage that Durazo's been giving up a lot this season. However, kind of a flip side to how Warner struggled a little bit against these Royal Blue Dogs. Durazo's done a really good job up against these Haymakers. A 73% weak contact percentage the one time that he was able to meet up against these Haymakers. That's tied for his second best on the season. Also, just a .259 batting average against them in that one outing. It's his best outing of this season when it comes to that statistic. So, I mean, talking to Coach Ethan Langfelder, their assistant coach majority of this season, they really felt that Durazo was going to be the guy for this kind of setup. He throws hard. He's able to go a long way, and he's really a competitor out there. That's what they want to have here in Game 1. Maybe allow a guy like Evan Heeb or Braden Bach go in the second or third round if they get there.
2-0 on Dane Small, the second baseman. And he takes one on the outside, 2-1. Durazo trying to pinpoint that fastball away to these right-hand bats at the top of the order. Dane Small out of University of Sioux Falls, plenty of extra base power in that bat as he chops one foul. 5 doubles and a homer on the year, both of those tied for the team lead.
Yeah, you mentioned the pop that he has in his bat. This is why he's been slated to the 3 or 4 spot almost the entire season. He has the ability to really get a hold of one if need be.
Facing a 2-2 count with Swanson at second, and he lifts one back foul. Small has driven in 10 runs in his last 10 games, and 3 of those runs came in his last appearance at the plate when he went 1 for 4 and drove in 3 against the Rail Riders on Sunday. Another 2-2 coming from Durazo. Instead, he'll step off Thinking about Swanson back at second, who has great speed. Shortstop Redding holding him close. And now the pitch in the air. Behind second base. It is caught by the second baseman Eastham, and no advance from Swanson. So after the leadoff single, Durazo gets 2 outs, and now it'll be Jackson Trout, the first baseman.
That's the exact type of AB that you need if you're Tanner Durazo, right? Make sure that this middle of the order does not barrel you up. Just barely got that miss. Again, you see a lot of times that four-seamer to a lot of guys can sometimes be a little bit flat, right? And you find the barrel really easily. With that two-seamer, a lot of times you're going to see that out of a hand really working like a normal fastball. You're coming straight to the barrel to that ball, and then last minute just cuts in a little bit or cuts up a little bit. That's kind of how those misses happen, to where you get a ball that you really think you're going to be able to barrel, drive it opposite way, but nope, it cuts in a little bit, and you're really underneath it, and at least you pop out for Ryan Eastham over there at second.
Strike one to Jackson Trout, batting .293 on the year. And he takes one up and away to even the count at 1-1. Trout on a 4-game hit streak. He's also scored 4 runs over that stretch.
I mentioned Ethan Neeson yesterday as a guy that I just despise pitching up against. This is another guy right here that I despise going any single time I went up against Jackson Trout. He's a guy, again, that's a really good plate discipline. He's not going to be a guy that you're going to get to chase very easily. He loves hunting that fastball, and if you give him a fastball over the plate, he's going to do damage to it.
Trout, a homegrown kid out of Papillion La Vista South High School here in the Omaha area. Multi-sport athlete, very athletic. As the 2-1 pitch is in the air, center field, hit pretty well, tailing away from Shires, but he runs it down for the 3rd out. So both pitchers work scoreless first innings, and we'll head to the 2nd. Royal Blue Dogs and Haymakers in the postseason on the Corn Belt League Network. Top of the 2nd inning, we're scoreless through 1 at JJ Isaacson Field. Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs in the 3rd of our 4 quarterfinals in the Corn Belt League postseason. As Cole Warner goes back to work after a 1-2-3 first inning and fires a strike to Eli McDonald, the 3rd baseman.
Yeah, McDonald has been easily the best hitter all season long here for these Royal Blue Dogs. League's 2nd best, 22 RBIs on the year, and he's an interesting guy, to say the least. He's a funny guy, very laid-back guy, but has the ability to find the ball through the zone and find a barrel. That's what he's been able to do all season, a .439 slugging percentage. And, again, he's been slated at this 3 or 4 spot really since day 1.
Leads the team in batting average, hits, doubles, runs batted in, 22 of those. As he takes one off the plate, 2-2. Warner working very quickly from the 3rd base side of the rubber. And he fires one that's going to be called foul, I believe. No, they will say it's an out. Home plate umpire put his hands in the air, but it's because of something else. So an out is made as Golden throws to Trout, and McDonald's retired.
Again, a really good piece right there. I talked about it in the pregame, right? Yeah, they did call it foul.
Yeah, okay. So some discord between the home plate umpire, who put his hands up, but then the first base umpire stayed with it and called him out. I thought I had it all the way, but I got worried for a sec. So it is 1-2. McDonald back in there as he takes one down and in.
It didn't exactly voice it either. It was just like kind of a very light foul.
Yeah. 2-2. Swing and a miss. So Warner gets the out after all. It's a second strikeout as McDonald is retired to bring up Braden Bach.
Again, that backdoor slider that's going to really work in sometimes. He can work at front door. That's the thing that I really love about Cole Warner, right? He is comfortable with his off speed inside a lot of times of the righties, even in the middle of the order. That one really plucking really about the lower middle corner, if you will, on that inner half up against McDonald and still got him to miss. That loopy kind of curve action is just so dangerous.
Braden Bach takes strike one. All the conversation when you look at the Royal Blue Dogs offensively usually centers around Nick Carlson and Eli McDonald, but Bach has quietly led the team in OPS with a 901 mark. However, he is behind 0-2 against Warner, who is just pumping that strike zone. 0-2. Takes a high fastball and fouls it back.
They talk about the quick movement so far from Warner. Talking to him earlier before this game, that's his biggest emphasis here today. Outside of the first pitch strikes, he wants quick, efficient innings. Find himself up on the mound, quickly get through it, and give momentum back to his offense.
Did he go around? He did not. And the pitch was just low, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Warner smiled a little bit. I think he thought he had that one. A beautiful play spot, but even a better take right there by Braden Bach. That's a hard pitch to take, especially on the bottom middle of the zone.
So now the 1-2, and that is in there. He goes off speed, and it finds the back door. Back-to-back strikeouts for Cole Warner. He's got 3 of them.
All 3 strikeouts so far have been on either the slider or that curveball. He's been working off speed very well. You know, we talk about it. The 2 times that these 2 teams have been close, the Royal Blue Dogs have had a chance to be able to beat these Haymakers, a 4-3 win and a 4-3 loss and a 3-2 win. So again, the offense is going to maybe be the struggle here, just whether they can get some of those small pieces and find a really good outing on the other end from Tanner Durazo if they want a chance to be able to beat these Haymakers.
Ball 1 to Luke Killinger up there without any batting gloves, and he hits a high chopper to third, cut off by Villanueva, and his throw to first is a bit high, but Trout has plenty of length over there at first, and he makes the catch for the third out. 6 up, 6 down for Cole Warner. We take it to the bottom of the second on the Corn Belt League Network. Bottom of the second inning, Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs scoreless in this quarterfinal matchup on a Friday evening in Omaha. And Jackson Doty, the left fielder, batting 5th, leads things off in the second for the Haymakers as they resume against Tanner Durazo, who allowed a leadoff single but worked the scoreless first.
Doty, again, a really solid guy, just all around, a 500 on-base percentage. That's the thing you really see a lot of times out of your 1-2 guy. We've already seen that with Swanson and Villanueva, but Doty has a little bit more of that power. 486 slugging percentage this year, 11 RBI. So that's really why he's slated more in that 5 spot rather than that 1 or 2 spot. He does have some speed as well, but it's kind of odd to see how much the middle of this order has some speed with Doty as well as Dane Small.
3-0 the count. The first inning for Durazo was really a textbook Durazo inning. He gave up a hit, but still kept his pitch count down at 11 and fires a strike there, 3-1. And that's something that Durazo has done all year long. He'll give up his hits, but he still gets quick outs, pitches in the strike zone, and is highly efficient out there on the mound. And there's a ground ball back up the middle. The middle is wide open and no chance for Eastham to make the play as it clanks off his glove. We'll see how it's scored, but I believe Doty will get a hit on that.
And that's some of those hard pieces, right? When the guy like Tanner Durazo, who's been a first pitch strike guy all season long, just under a 70% first pitch strike percentage, best in the Corn Belt League this season. That's the thing that can switch things up, right? When he doesn't get that first pitch strike, he can struggle because, again, only being a two-pitch guy, you get yourself down in counts, and then as a hitter, you know it's going to be that 1 or 2 pitch, and when you can't find that slider, you're really able to easily sit fastball.
Strike 1 to Ryan Golden, the catcher. He has absolutely owned the Royal Blue Dogs this year. As he hits one high in the air, down the left field line. It's a long run for Tommy Rowland, and he can't get there as it goes down off the fence. But you look at the numbers for Golden against the Dogs this year: 7 for 10, a couple doubles, 4 runs batted in, 4 runs, and he had several multi-hit games against them. 3 hits on July 11, 2 hits on the 22nd as well. He's behind 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Could be a strike him out, throw him out, but not in time at second base. Golden strikes out, but Doty steals second, and that brings up the shortstop, Zach Tanabe, with 1 out.
A beautiful throw and setup right there by Nick Carlson, but an even better jump by that man right there, Jackson Doty. Not sure what it was, but he was able to find Durazo's kind of piece, kind of tip a little bit. Got a beautiful jump off of first.
Stolen base number 6 for Jackson Doty. And his second one against the Royal Blue Dogs this year, as there's ball 1 to the shortstop, Tanabe. Excellent defensive shortstop and handles the bat pretty well on top of it. 250 batting average. As the 1-0 from Durazo is low and away.
We mentioned last night with the crop dusters, right, how much they rely on speed at times. The Bombers are kind of the same way. This team has got a little more middle of the pack for the Haymakers. 50 stolen bases on this season, but 14 different guys able to do it. So a really deep team that has some speed with it.
Comes the 2-0 from Durazo, and it's in the air, center field. Hit fairly well, but Shires ranges back to make the catch. Doty tags from second and gets to third on the line out to center field. So now the game's first run, 90 feet away with 2 down for Carter Betts.
And for a guy like Durazo, that's something you can easily give up, right? You've known to be a guy that sometimes gives up hard hit balls, gives up line drives at times. And for him, I mean, I can feel comfortable with that. You still have 2 outs. You're going up against now kind of the bottom of the order, which has really struggled this season. You got to get yourself back in and still attack up against here in Carter Betts.
And Betts goes after the first pitch, grounds it to third. Going to be a tough throw, but they got him. Eli McDonald shows off the cannon for the 3rd out. And the Haymakers strand Doty at third base. We're scoreless through 2. Postseason baseball on the Corn Belt League Network. Top of the third inning. Zeros on the scoreboard between the Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs in this quarterfinal. Cole Warner has retired the first 6. Haymakers starting pitcher as he fires strike 1 to Tommy Rowland, the left fielder. 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for the Royal Blue Dogs, who are going with a 10-man batting order today. First time we've seen that in these playoffs.
Kind of an odd thing to see. Don't quite know exactly why, but guess maybe seeing some more opportunities to get some more guys up to the plate. I think a big thing here to think about as well is that when you have that 10-man lineup with the extra hitter and the designated hitter in there, sometimes it's easier to make changes, right? You don't have to bring guys out defensively, put them back in. It's a lot easier to move guys around. So maybe that's more the emphasis, more defensively, and have the ability to change a lot if need be.
Rowland takes one to left field, but it's right at Jackson Doty, who makes the catch. So Warner sends Rowland to the dugout on 3 pitches, and there's one away in the third.
Now batting, the extra hitter.
And a really good start. I mean, you cannot ask for more if you are the coaching staff for this Haymakers team. This is your ace. This is the big moment that you need, and Cole Warner's been able to do it so far.
So here's JJ Schubert, batting .257 coming in, and he started the regular season on fire with a 5-game hit streak, so we'll see what he can do to begin this postseason. And his first pitch is a strike from Cole Warner.
Now, Schubert, a guy from Iowa Lakes Community College, but you see the red helmet. He's been using about 5, 6, 7 different guys' helmets this season. Not quite sure if he misplaced it or his was broken, but he's been kind of going out there with a little different piece of headgear every time he goes up.
Could be superstitious, too. There's a 1-1 pitch from Warner. Gets him jammed, and it's popped up. That's a tough play for Golden as he was cut off by Schubert going down the line, but he hangs onto it for the second out.
Talk about an athletic play right there, having to get up from the knees, and Golden kind of mixing around a little bit with Schubert, but kind of twisted around with him, caught it in his glove, fell out of his glove, and somehow got it bare hand off his chest. So an odd play, but a really good second out for the Haymakers.
That is not something you practice. As Josh Moore, the first baseman, digs in from the left side and takes a ball just off the plate.
What coach can make a drill of that?
I don't know.
Ron Washington? He's not a catchy coach, but
yeah, you'd have to be pretty creative, yeah. That one is popped straight up. And caught at second base by Dane Small. Boy, what a start for Cole Warner. 3 scoreless innings. He struck out 3, and he has just flew through these first 3 frames. We're scoreless going to the bottom of the third. Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs on the Corn Belt League Network. Bottom of the third inning, still awaiting the first run here as Royal Blue Dogs and Haymakers have played a well-pitched game thus far, and Tanner Durazo is part of that, firing strike 1 on the outside corner to Chris Calhoun, the bottom of the order. Haymakers going with a 9-man batting lineup. So the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. And there's a strike as well, 0-2.
Yeah, this is prime Tanner Durazo right now, being able to find the strike zone early and get out of damage. He did in the first 2 innings, just 4 batters both at different times, and then able to get weak contact like that. So really kind of a half-me swing right there from Chris Calhoun. A really good spot right now if you're Durazo. Still up 0-2. I think if you're him, especially at the 9 hole, still attack. Maybe go fastball here in the inner half.
Calhoun's still up there.
Yeah, he's smiling at that one. They called that foul. I think Calhoun knows it wasn't foul. Still a little bit more of another piece of life here for Calhoun.
Another 0-2 pitch, and now he'll head back to the dugout as he waves and misses at a slider down and away. Perfectly placed by Tanner Durazo for the out.
Perfect pitch sequencing. That's what you want. Attack early, attack often. He goes back-to-back-to-back fastballs, get him to chase a little bit on the inner half, gets it fouled off, and then goes right back to the slider. Honestly, if you're Calhoun, I think that's going to be a situation. You got to understand what's coming to you. Not a really great approach right there from Calhoun.
5 consecutive strikes to begin the third inning for Durazo as he gets ahead of David Swanson, the top of the order. 0-1. And there's another one. Foul tip into the glove. Nothing in 2.
You know, a lot of times you see different pitchers, right, kind of have their roles, right? It's not only like the 1, 2, 3 in your staff or your bullpen guy, but how you are as a pitcher. This is what Durazo is. He finds himself in the zone early and often. He'd much rather get beat on a ball in the inner half of the plate than miss entirely out wide and walk a guy. He's going to guy that's living in the zone. You just have to go there and beat him.
1-2 the count, and there's that slider, but it's down. Swanson lays off 2-2. Swanson singled to right center field on Durazo's first pitch back in the first inning. And he sends one to center field again, but this time it's going to hang up for Lane Shires, and he makes the grab for the second out.
I think we knew, especially in both these games, that we were going to have a pitcher's duel, but I'm not sure if I quite expected this. Both these two just going back and forth, battling between Durazo and Warner, and both guys just seem incredibly comfortable up there on the mound. The pacing's been quick. They've just kind of seemed a little more, I would say cocky a little bit, but they seem definitely confident up there and really in a good spot. I really like the way Durazo's working right now, especially the second time through the order.
Yeah, we're about to make it through 3 innings in under 35 minutes. But Villanueva will try and do something about that. However, he lines out to center field. A 1-2-3 third inning, and it is a pitcher's duel here at JJ Isaacson Field. Scoreless through 3 between the Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs in the quarterfinals. Top of the 4th inning, Haymakers 0, Royal Blue Dogs 0 in the quarterfinals, Corn Belt League Postseason, and swinging foul tip by 10-hitter Brennan Redding. As the Royal Blue Dogs try and figure out Cole Warner, who has retired the first 9 he has faced through 3 innings. And there's a pop-up behind second base. Small back pedals to the outfield grass and makes the grab for the first out. And that on just 2 pitches for Cole Warner, who has been ultra efficient to start this game.
Again, Warner, we talk about the pitcher's duel back and forth. First one to apologize for a couple mishaps there. Technically, our switcher has been kind of going back and forth these last couple days, especially with the heat. But again, you mentioned Warner's just been incredible so far today, and he's just mowing through this lineup.
And there's another high pop-up. Shallow center field. Does anybody have it? Yes, Zach Tanabe makes a fine play with his back to third base. 3 pitches, 2 outs in the 4th, and Cole Warner is at just 39 now through 3 2/3.
Little look behind your basket catch right there for Zach Tanabe. That's not an easy play to make, especially raging behind you. But for a guy like Tanabe, who we've seen play some really good defense all season long, that's why he's the shortstop, right? You have to be the captain of that infield, and that's what Tanabe was able to do right there. Definitely probably not his ball out there in center. Probably should have been Chris Calhoun's out there in center, but Tanabe, knowing he can make the play, able to really charge on, take charge, make a good play for the second out, and help out your pitcher.
Big swing and a miss, 1-1 to Ryan Eastham. So Redding and Shires already retired in the inning, and now Eastham, who grounded out to second base in the 1st. Eleven up, 11 down for Cole Warner. And now 2-1 the count on Eastham.
I mean, to think that we could get through 4 innings of action, if both guys stay this consistent, that we could get through 4 innings of action in like 85 pitches combined, that would be insane. And Durazo with 32 going through 3. Warner now with 42. Again, man, these two guys just been efficient, and they pounded the zone early.
3-1 pitch is lined, shallow center field, and that is down. So both teams now have a base hit as Ryan Eastham takes a 3-1 offering and sends it back where it came from for a single.
That's those kind of at-bats that you need to have. Really the only time, I could look back, but I believe that is the only time that we have seen Cole Warner down more than 1 strike. I think we've seen him 2-1 a couple of times, but never 2-0 or 3-1. So those are the kind of situations you have to have. When you take close pitches, when you take balls outside the zone, elongate at-bats, then you're going to find a lot more fastballs coming towards you and ones that you can hit. And that's a really good job right there in Ryan Eastham. Working with Eastham all season long, he caught me a couple times when I played with the Royal Blue Dogs. I love the guy's baseball IQ. He's just that kind of catcher that you need. You really see a lot of different catchers with that high baseball IQ, and just the way he's been able to understand the game is something that I don't think a lot of other guys have in this league.
Eastham, such a disciplined hitter as well. It took him 69 plate appearances, 21 games to finally strike out this year. Just 2 of them in total on the year, and now 61 at bats. Nick Carlson's at the plate, 1-1 the count on him. He grounded out back to the mound in the 1st. And they're throwing over again. Checking on Eastham, who has stolen 2 bases on the year.
And again, Warner's done a really good job this season, making sure that he can hold runners on. Again, it's a little easier as a lefty, but just 3 stolen bases allowed.
Roll down the line to third. Villanueva a long throw, and again, Jackson Trout stretches out and records the final out. So Cole Warner's through 4 shutout innings, and it's 0-0 going to the bottom of the 4th. Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs on the Corn Belt League Network. Good crowd on hand on a Friday evening. See a couple young fans there as well. Great to see them coming out to the ballpark on a beautiful day in Omaha, not too hot. As Tanner Durazo goes back to work for the Royal Blue Dogs, he's made it through 3 scoreless innings, and now he deals with the middle of the order. Small, Trout, and Doty, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And Dane Small now sees the count at 1-1.
Really good, smart setup right here by Durazo. Again, you're getting through the middle heart of the order the second time through the order, so a lot of times you want to work backwards. Back-to-back sliders right there.
Small lifts one, center field. Slice in, but Shires makes the catch. And that's out number 1. And again, the story of the game, within the success of these two pitchers, quick outs.
Now batting.
47 pitches, 32 of them strikes for Cole Warner through 4 innings. I mean, go into a game, right, as a coach, and as a pitcher, you tell your coach, I'm going to go 11, 12 pitches every single inning. I mean, you can't ask for more than that. Every single time Warner's gone out there, been efficient. Durazo's been doing the same thing. I mean, Durazo's been doing what he's done all season. He gets pieced up a little bit, but his defense has been making plays behind him, and he finds his zone early and often. It's what you need to find from these two starting pitchers. They've been doing their jobs in a moment like this.
2-0 the count, and I mean, just from my perspective as a fan of a team, when your starting pitcher is efficient like that and he's throwing about 12 or 13 pitches, there's nothing more you enjoy than that, because you just know there's so many possibilities for what the outing could turn into when you're keeping it that low.
Yeah, I mean, it allows some, like we talked to Cole Warner before today, he mentioned how much it means to his offense when he can get off the field quickly. It allows offense to make plays on the other end.
Yeah, and there's a ground out to short. Redding to Moore on the 6-3. Jackson Trout is retired for out number 2, and now Jackson Doty comes up with the bases empty.
And just 2 strikeouts here so far in 3 2/3 innings for the Royal Blue Dogs, specifically Tanner Durazo. But again, he's been getting that weak contact. He's got himself out of innings. I mean, it's 4 straight batters where he's gotten weak contact, either straight away, middle of the field, or towards the shortstop and Brendan Rennie.
And a ground ball towards second. Eastham makes the play. 4 scoreless innings for Durazo as well. A pitcher's duel for the ages here at JJ Isaacson Field. We're scoreless through 5 postseason baseball here on the Corn Belt League Network. No score through 4 innings at JJ Isaacson Field, and just 3 combined hits between the Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs in the 3-6 quarterfinal. And Cole Warner goes back to work. He needed just 47 pitches to get through his first 4 scoreless innings, and now he faces McDonald, Bach, and Killinger, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters.
Yeah, and I think that half bunt showing right there from McDonald kind of explains the lack of hitting from both these teams today. Both the pitchers in Durazo and Warner have been able to get guys to guess, and specifically been able to get guys to miss just like that.
High fly ball, shallow right field. Swanson calls for it and makes a catch. 2 pitches, 1 out to begin the 5th. And that'll be Braden Bach. And Jaden, this is just the start of what will be an incredible night of pitching, no doubt, because you look at the second matchup, it's 2 of the premier pitchers in the entire league, Austin Shelton for the Rail Riders and Adam Eggert for the Bombers.
the two most strikeouts, two guys with the most strikeouts in the league will be going toe-to-toe here tonight in our 8 p.m. matchup. You think this game's been a pitching duel? Tonight's game is going to be even better. Only other thing I think more of a factor in tonight's game, however, the offenses are a little bit more prolific between the Bombers and the Rail Riders. Combined 27 runs in the last 16 innings for the Bombers that they've been able to play over the last 4 days. So again, the offense is a little more there than we've seen between these two teams. But either way, it's going to be an immense pitching battle between those two here tonight.
Lined, right side, diving stop at second by Small, but the transfer has it pop out of his glove. See how it's scored. Braden Bach gets on with one away in the 5th.
You could see him a little frustrated after that. He thought he had another SportsCenter top 10 style play right there. Full extension to be able to keep it in front of him. Just kind of popped out of the glove, got up a little bit too quickly, didn't quite fully get a good grip on that ball. And now here you go. Not many chances, and I think a lot of times last couple of nights we talk about big chances for some offense when 1 or 2 runners are on. Right now with the way these two offenses have been doing, really just anybody on base is some kind of offensive chance for either of these offenses.
Bunt is down now for Luke Killinger down the first base line, and Warner fields his position and throws for the out. Bach moves up to second. That was ruled a single on the ground ball to the right side.
Now batting.
And now a man in scoring position, just the second base runner for the Royal Blue Dogs, as Tommy Rowland comes up.
I think this is a big point for the Southeast Community College guy to the left side. Again, Warner really works well to lefties, especially with how well his off-speed can work here. I think Warner's going to really work toward that slider.
Cold foul, strike 1. Rowland flew out to left field in the 3rd with a couple strikes against him. He had one of the worst swings we've seen against Cole Warner thus far on a slider low and away. See how he looks up there this time. And he takes one just up and out of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, like I mentioned, that's going to be the pitch he's going to go to, especially lefties. Talking to Warner, that's really what he likes to do, especially up against lefties, because how much it really forces a lefty's hand sometimes to disconnect, right? A lot of times when you're trying to find a barrel through, you want to keep your hands connected all the way through. On a lot of lefties in that slider, it's really easy to open up too much and have your arms get too much extended, then you have no power coming through that swing.
Swing and a miss, going after that slider, and it's 1-2. Already 3 strikeouts for Cole Warner. However, he hasn't picked up a K since the 2nd inning. So he's probably due for one, but he'll take the out any way it comes against Tommy Rowland, trying to get it to the bottom of the 5th inning, still scoreless. Here's the 1-2. It is way outside the right-hand batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think if you're Warner here, maybe a chance to go back to the fastball. Do not give too much over the plate to Rowland, right? A pretty big open left center gap, so I think maybe try to attack him in a little bit on that fastball. Try to get him to chase on the inner half.
Fouled straight back. Still 2-2, and yeah, that outfield, especially in right field, David Swanson shaded over toward the line.
But then Doty out there in left is, if playing more straight up and maybe even a couple steps more towards the left field line, so that left center field gap is really big right now.
Another 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. High heater from Cole Warner, his 4th strikeout, and he is through 5 shutout innings. Zeros on the board. Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs in the postseason on the Corn Belt League Network. Bottom of the 5th inning. A tremendous pitching matchup here between the Haymakers and Royal Blue Dogs. Tanner Durazo goes back to work for the Dogs. 4 scoreless innings for him, 5 shutout innings for Cole Warner on the other side as Durazo faces Ryan Golden, Zach Tanabe, and Carter Betts. And it's fouled back, 1-1. Tyler Reidy and Jaden Taylor with you. And Jaden, as a pitcher yourself, I know you're loving this matchup so far.
There's not a lot of guys that like baseball, a lot of new players, right, that love this kind of pitch. A lot of guys love the big home runs, the big plays, the 8 to 7 games back and forth. This is the type of game that I love to see. 2 really prolific pitchers going back and forth and doing it in different ways, right? It's not a situation where you have guys getting blown by every time. Yeah, there's strikeouts, but there's even better pitch sequencing by both of these guys. It's even, in my opinion, it's even a bigger of a tall task to see how well that Tanner Durazo's been pitching, right? You have kind of a different setup. With Durazo, it's just a 2-pitch mix. With Warner, he's able to work 2 or 3 pitches as well. So both guys not working in too long of a mix, but doing a really good job so far.
But extra base is coming here for Zach Tanabe as he lines one over Tommy Rowland in left field, and he wants 3. Tanabe on his way to third and in there with a triple. So finally, an extra base hit. We went through 4.5 innings without one, and Zach Tanabe, a liner to left field that just kept carrying, and it got over the glove of Rowland, and he's at third with 1 out.
Yeah, honestly, I really think that ball should have been caught by Tommy Rowland out there in left. First step was in for Rowland, and that's a thing you learn day one as an outfielder not to do. He really jumped the gun on that line drive and just got past the glove, and Rowland had to go all the way to the wall to get that one. That's a really big piece right there if I had Tanabe to know, right? The ball's getting past him. There's nobody going to be there to back him up because it's straight up left field. He's going to have to sprint, and got a really good job, really good way to know that he was hustling to get to third.
2-0 the count on Carter Betts. 8 and 9 hitters here for the Haymakers. Tanabe with his first triple of the year, just his 2nd extra base hit. As this is chopped to short, Tanabe on his way home, he will score, and the out is made at first base, but Betts drives in the run, and the Haymakers at long last are on the board first, 1-0 in the 5th.
That's what extra base hits can do, right? Durazo, a guy that really lives fastball heavy, and Tanabe in his 2nd time through after seeing a couple fastballs in his first AB. Really good job being able to find the barrel, drove it into left field, and again, a situation again where I think some of those small mistakes might have been able to hurt the Royal Blue Dogs right there. A play that should have been made leads to extra bases, and now a run coming in.
Big swing and a miss. Strike 1 on Chris Calhoun, the center fielder. He struck out to lead off the 3rd. And now he falls behind 0-2. Durazo has 2 strikeouts. But the only number that matters for any of the pitchers at this point are the earned runs, and Durazo the first to give one up. However, he gets an out. Boy, a quick tag from Josh Moore, the first baseman, as the throw was high. Haymakers coaches and Chris Calhoun himself, the base runner, can't believe it, but the inning is over. Haymakers get 1, and the lead is theirs as we go to the 6th. Inning. Look at that pooch out here running around beyond the 3rd base line. And as we open up the 6th inning, we'd like to remind you that the Northeast Athletic Department is currently seeking businesses for the 2022 Hawks Boosters Corporate Sponsorship Campaign. Email Jarrett Mills at jmills2@northeast.edu for more information to become a part of the Northeast Athletic Department team today. See the fans here as well, taking in some postseason Corn Belt League baseball, and we finally have a score in this one after 4.5 shutout frames. The Haymakers strike first, 1-0 lead, and now Cole Warner, who has already delivered 5 shutout frames, has just a little bit of run support, but that might be all he needs with the way he's going.
Yeah, I got JJ Schubert kind of a little bit fooled right there. He was trying to put down a bunt, but with the slider coming right back to him, Schubert wasn't able to bring the bat back.
Slow roller to third. Alec Villanueva gobbles it up and throws to first. What a dig by Trout. And that's out number 1. And again, on just 2 pitches, quick outs for Cole Warner up and down the lineup today.
And talk about the fact that you can have a guy 59 pitches through 5 1/3 innings. I mean, it's just an incredible display of efficiency for Warner here today. He hasn't needed the strikeout every single at-bat, but he's been able to get it. 4 strikeouts here today. He's been able to blow by these Royal Blue Dogs, but the biggest thing, he's been able to get them to miss, and the defense has helped him out.
Ball 1 to Josh Moore, the first baseman. On the outside, 1-1, and the crazy thing is, as impressive as Warner has been pitch count-wise, Tanner Durazo is under 50 pitches through 5. He's averaging 9.4 pitches per inning with 47 of them total. As this is hit in the air, slicing fly ball left center field, and a running catch made out there by Chris Calhoun for the second out. And it's just too easy for Warner.
To imagine that a Zach Tanabe triple, again, there's still a lot of game left, but to imagine a Zach Tanabe triple could literally be the entire game offensively for both of these teams. One little mistake by Tommy Rowland coming in on that ball rather than going back out could cost them their season.
Just amazing. Amazing what starting pitching can do in this game. It's Brennan Redding, the 10-hitter, takes low ball 1. Redding popped out second base when he led off the 4th. The only men to get on base against Cole Warner for the Blue Dogs, Ryan Eastham with a single in the 4th and Braden Bach with a single in the 5th. And that was an infield hit as well. 1-1 the count now.
I think again, a lot of times we talk about one of the most beautiful things about this game is that it can't be a one-man showcase, right? It's not like basketball or sometimes soccer or some other games that are really just one-man showcases in a way, but baseball in such a big way is not like that. But today it's really been both the pitchers being able to do that when they can.
Caught out in left center field by Jackson Doty, and Cole Warner is dealing with a capital D. 6 shutout innings against the Royal Blue Dogs. The Haymakers getting a tremendous pitching performance to begin their postseason. They take a 1-0 lead to the bottom of the 6th on the Corn Belt League Network.
No matter what your age, skill level, or position, your baseball season begins at the Strike Zone. Featuring state-of-the-art batting cages, group and private instruction, the Strike Zone provides athletes all the training and equipment you need to get your game to the next level. Give the gift of development to your baseball or softball player. Purchase your Strike Zone gift cards today. Baseball never ends at the Strike Zone.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Haymakers 1, Royal Blue Dogs 0 in the quarterfinals. And we just reached the 1 hour mark on this game. We started at 5:04, it's now 6:04, and we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. That tells you all you need to know about the pitching we've seen today. As Tanner Durazo goes back to work against top of the Haymakers order, David Swanson, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if, especially with how fast this game has been going, if it stays just like that, if we may see the 8 p.m. game moved up a little bit, but either way, neither team is here right now.
And there's a ground out to short on 3 pitches. Swanson retired. He's now 1 for 3. And that brings up Alec Villanueva with 1 down in the 6th. Tyler Reidy and Jaden Taylor with you. Yeah, you're exactly right. If we start that 8 o'clock game early, we could get to bed real early tonight because this thing might be done up to an hour ahead of schedule with the way things are tracking.
I wouldn't complain about that. I got to prep for a 2 p.m. game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Semifinals at 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. As the first pitch to Villanueva is chopped foul outside the bag at third.
You ready for little sleep tonight, Tyler? Very little sleep tonight, Tyler?
We'll see. We'll see. The thing I'm grateful for is that we're not talking about prepping for 2 brand new teams. I mean, it's all teams we've already seen yesterday and today, so hopefully we'll be fine. Dealt with a lot worse than this, though, looking at like state basketball and
that was
all of that.
7 a.m. to 10 p.m. type of nights, then back the next day at 8:30.
Yeah, that was a grind this year when they put the girls and the boys in the same league,
year.
I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's 0-2 on Villanueva. And he lines this one over short into left center field, the 4th base hit for the Haymakers. And Villanueva's now 1 for 3. He's aboard with 1 down as he barreled that one up.
Yeah, and that ball got to the outfield so quickly that it wasn't being enough to be able to get to the gaps. Really good job by the 2 outfielders out there to be able to converge on that ball, get it in quickly to make sure that Villanueva did not have the opportunity to stretch that one into extra bases.
So now it's Dane Small, 3 singles and the all-important Zach Tanabe triple that set up the run for the Haymakers today. Scored in the 5th inning. There's strike 1 to Dane Small. Pop out and a fly out for him today. And a throw over. It's a close play at first, but Villanueva back in ahead of Moore's tag.
We talk so much about the first pitch strikes this season for Tanner Durazo, at least myself counting, not officially, but myself counting. He has gotten a first pitch strike on 17 of 20 batters here today. That's an 85%.
It's 18 of 20.
18 to 20. It is 18 to 20?
It is.
All right, I was 1 off. That's incredible.
Yeah. You just don't see that every day.
90% first pitch strike percentage. And you could get counted with the loss today.
Reminds me of that one time Rich Hill with the Dodgers,
the
2017, when he took
Pittsburgh
the no-hitter into the 10th inning and lost.
on a walk-off home run. What was that?
Josh Harrison,
Yeah, Harrison.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I was saying I knew it was like a big Pittsburgh guy for a lot of years.
So there's a stolen base for Villanueva. It's now 2-1 on Dane Small.
The Dodgers pitching staff just never gets bad, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, Dustin May, Walker Buehler will be back.
Kershaw, Scherzer last year.
Gonsolin. Or are they trying to bring in Frankie Montas? I kept hearing that.
Yeah, they
from
could.
the A's.
Zach Greinke was there for a while as well. Tyler Anderson's been great this year.
The bullpen's been consistent every single time he goes out there. Imagine you can get rid of Kelly Jansen and get almost better.
On the ground, deep short, and no chance for Redding. He'll just hang on to it. It's an infield hit. And now back-to-back singles as Dane Small follows up Villanueva, and they're on the corners with 1 out for Jackson Trout.
Yeah, again, this is going to be Tanner Durazo's game, so with 1 out here, I think you got to find a way to get one yourself up against Trout. Haven't been able to strike him out so far, and the strikeouts haven't been the biggest factor for Durazo so far this season. Does have 33 Ks coming into this one. But again, I think it's a time where you got to maybe try to light up Jackson Trout a little bit. Make sure that you don't put one in play to get yourself down 2, because I think a 1-run deficit is going to be hard enough going into the 7th for the Royal Blue Dogs. A 2-run deficit, I think, is a death sentence.
So 0-1 on Trout. Each of the top 3 hitters in this Haymakers order now have a single: Swanson, Villanueva, and Small. The 0-1 pitch to Trout is down. Count even at 1-1. 5 hits now for the Haymakers, just 2 for the Royal Blue Dogs. No errors on either side, despite some controversy early on about whether or not the single from Jackson Doty in the second was an error or not. And as a runner from first, Small takes off, and Trout fouls it back, 1-2.
Right on. And another little kid. I really should have placed the Nat sound mics differently. is every single time you hear those kids run. Yeah, Maddox, yes. Every single time.
Yep. Hopefully he got to that souvenir. 1-2 the count. May have gone over the fence. Small takes off again, and this time it's in the dirt. A no throw down from Carlson, so Small steals the base, and 2 stolen bags in the inning here for the Haymakers.
Yeah, you heard the fan right there. Go get him. That's exactly what Durazo needs to do right here. The infield's coming in. You can't rely on your defense to get a double play as it's now out of order. Got to get one yourself here. Try to climb the ladder. Maybe try to get Trout to chase on a fastball upstairs.
Oh, wow, look at that swing. Trout went fishing. Yep, that's a sword and a half right there. He's down on strikes, and it's K number 3 for Durazo.
I think Trout was expecting that high fastball, but ended up getting a low fastball. Man, got himself an odd situation right there, but exactly what Durazo needs. Now your defense can be a little more comfortable, play a little bit more back, don't have to be so tense. Still a really strong hitter you got to be able to get out of here.
Yeah, big cut and a miss. Jackson Doty swinging for the fences, but that's strike 1. Doty has 1 of the 5 hits, a single in the second inning, also stole a base, and a ground out in the 4th. Reminder, stay with us for the 8 o'clock game. Bombers and Rail Riders are on tap in the final of our 4 quarterfinals. It's now 1-1, and there is some action in the Royal Blue Dogs bullpen with Tanner Durazo dealing with some congestion on the base paths.
That's Braden Bach. It's going to be Bach and Langfelder if we keep going forward for the Royal Blue Dogs. Those are the 2 guys if they end up going away from Durazo.
2-1 the count. Bach is not throwing yet. It's just soft tossing one of the heavier balls. It's 2-1 on Doty with Villanueva at third, Small at second. Single would really be a backbreaker here for the Royal Blue Dogs. Like you said earlier, you have got to keep this at a 1-run game. 2-1 pitch is outside, 3-1. You have Ryan Golden on deck, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout.
Again, I think definitely down here 3-1. Cannot give too much to Doty. You have a free base open, and Golden again, who coming in today was raking up against the Royal Blue Dogs, but has struggled here today. I would much rather be okay with the walk than go with the bases loaded opportunity.
And he foul tipped that one, so 3-2. Bit of a check swing.
Yeah, Doty knows that one was a mistake, shaking his head a little bit. Definitely below the zone, maybe even a little bit inside as well on that pitch. Now a big spot here for Tanner Durazo. Again, you do have a base open, but knowing Durazo, knowing his mindset, he's going to go straight in and attack here on Doty.
Braden Bach returns to the dugout ahead of this 3-2 pitch. Durazo to Doty. And he fouls it off his leg. Count remains full. Haymakers have left a couple base runners in scoring position today, but they got Tanabe home from third in the 5th inning. That's all that matters now, and now they'll have the bases loaded as Jackson Doty takes the walk on 3-2, and Ryan Golden will come up with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Yeah, just the first walk on either side here today. Durazo just the 16th of the year. And I like this discussion here. Again, you have the opportunity to work around Doty a little bit. You understand you still have a base open. This is the time just to talk to Durazo a little bit, settle him down, understand kind of maybe how they want to go with Golden here.
So now there will be a conversation here. Assistant coach joined by the catcher Carlson talking to Durazo ahead of this at bat with Ryan Golden. It's Villanueva at third. The inning got going for the Haymakers with 1 out. Swanson had already grounded up, and then Villanueva singled. He stole second base. Dane Small picked up an infield hit, got Villanueva to third, so they were on the corners with 1 out. Small then stole second. And with second and third and 1 out, Jackson Trout struck out swinging. And Jackson Doty walked to bring us here with the bases loaded and 2 down. pivotal moment in this game, a season-defining moment. And strike one on an off-speed pitch to Golden.
Beautiful setup right there. A lot of times, right, he's been going fastball consistently to end off that at bat up against Doty. 3 straight fastballs, then he switches it up with a slider.
And a check swing, foul off to the right side, 0-2. Now Durazo is in command, ahead in the count.
I think I attack here. Go up, get him to chase upstairs.
He's working quickly, and the 0-2 pitch is in the dirt. Blocked by Carlson, 1-2.
Now there's good and bad to working quickly right there, right? Durazo really working quickly, but gave it away a little bit, right? Do it too much. And sometimes you can, again, push yourself a little bit too much in those moments. Try to see you're trying to get out of it so amped. There's a time now, again, Durazo, get back to himself, get back in his zone, and get this strikeout.
Goes with the slider, but it's well away, and out 2-2, and Durazo has to lock in. You cannot lose Ryan Golden after having him 0-2. 2-2 the count. Durazo comes set. And it's fouled straight back over our heads. Good rip by Golden, and still a 2-strike count. And we continue to hear "Trust yourself," either from the dugout or from the stands. I assume it's directed at Tanner Durazo, trying to find that put-away pitch. 2-2. Jam shot back towards second base. Will they get an out? Yes, they will. Redding throws to first just in time. And Durazo leaves the bases loaded, but the Royal Blue Dogs are 3 outs away. Season on the line. They need a run when we return in the top of the 7th, down 1-0. Top of the 7th inning, Haymakers lead 1-0. They're 3 outs away from advancing to the semifinals as Cole Warner, who has thrown 6 shutout innings and needed just 66 pitches to do it, will face Shires, Eastham, and Carlson at the top of the order. And Shires, showing bunt, pulls it back and takes strike 1.
I like the spot where you have here with the Royal Blue Dogs. Again, with Warner having such a great day, it would really be a death sentence again to set yourself up 8-9-1 or 9-10-1. Or 8-9-10. Really a lot more comfortable to have some of your better bats up here against Warren if you want any chance to score 1 run here. Need anything you can get.
0-2 pitch on the ground to short. Shires can run, but a quick throw is made in time by Zach Tanabe for out number 1. That was a lightning fast transfer from glove to the right hand to throw to first.
I think that's the biggest piece of Tanabe's game, right? How smooth he can get it from the glove to his hand in a throwing position. His footwork's really good out there at short, and he's been able to make plays all season long.
So now it's Ryan Eastham. He has one of the 2 hits off of Cole Warner, a single in the 4th inning. Also a ground out in the 1st. And he takes strike 1 on the inside.
Really good curveball right there. Again, Eastham, the mentality's got to be right now. You find a fastball, you drive it. You cannot miss a fastball that you find in the zone here. You allow him to really use that off speed, find that fastball that you want.
Cole Warner trying to make it complete games in back-to-back starts. He did it in his last start against the Bombers on July 17th, going 7 innings, allowing 1 unearned run and striking out 9. Pitch count, a totally different story then. He threw 123 pitches for that one, and he's just getting up over 70 now. 2-1 is the count on Eastham, the second baseman. And he lines one, center field. Calhoun goes back and has it for the second out. And the Royal Blue Dogs are down to their final out with Nick Carlson coming up.
And you can't complain, right, if you're Eastham. I mean, you can, but as Eastham, right, it was a good approach. You found the fastball you wanted, you barreled it. It was just not in the gap. It just didn't fall. And those kind of setups that things don't fall your way sometimes, even when you barrel a ball. And Warner is set up to complete this game out and get a big win for the Haymakers.
Inside ball 1 to Carlson. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. 1-0 pitch from Warner. Swing and a miss. He goes down below the strike zone, and Carlson chases. Warner right back, ready to go with the 1-1. And it bounces away, and it got a piece of Nick Carlson. Tying run is on with a hit by pitch.
And exactly who you want up in a moment like this. The best hitter all season long, Eli McDonald, comes up to the plate. A big spot here for McDonald, who's struggled here today. Struck out back in the 2nd, flew out to the left in the 5th, but that just means he's due. Big spot here for McDonald if he can keep this one going.
On the outside corner for strike 1. McDonald struck out in the 2nd, flew out to right field in the 5th. Nick Carlson is 4 for 6 stealing bases this year. Does not have a big lead at first, however, as McDonald sends one foul, and it's 0-2.
And I doubt in any way whatsoever going to see Carlson go. And I mentioned earlier, just 3 stolen bases against Warner this season. He's held runners on very well. 2 caught stealing as well.
Oh, 2 pitch upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes on McDonald. DH Braden Bach is on deck. He has a hit today.
I think McDonald really has to be thinking off speed here. He's gone upstairs the fastball. Maybe try to work another fastball in the other half. No matter what, go backdoor here if you're Warner.
1-2 pitch. Fouled away again, out of the stadium. Still 1-2 on Eli McDonald. Here it comes. It was not in there. And McDonald holds up, checking his swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Yeah, Warner was ready to head to the dugout and celebrate with his team right there. Really good placement on that 1-2, but again, just a little bit too inside. Really good take right there for McDonald.
2-2 pitch. Pulled foul. Count still even at 2-2. McDonald fighting for his life and fighting for his team's season up there in the batter's box. Nick Carlson, the runner at first, he was hit by a pitch with 2 outs. Just 2 hits in the game for the Royal Blue Dogs. They've only put 1 runner in scoring position today. 2-2 pitch. That's inside. And the count is full. And really, for the first time today, the Royal Blue Dogs are making Warner labor out there on the bump. Now he's ready with the 3-2 pitch. Carlson runs, and it's grounded to short. This should do it. Tanabe Sorta first is there for the out. Cole Warner goes the distance. And a 1-0 victory for the Haymakers as they take down the Royal Blue Dogs and move on to the semifinals.
What a day for the two pitchers. And again, I mentioned it in the fifth, because that triple by Zach Tanabe really ended season for the Royal Blue Dogs. And with such an amazing start from Warner, really just one mistake from Durazo that changes everything.
The Haymakers win it 1-0. They advance to the semifinals on Saturday. Will take on the Black Sox, and the 2 versus 3 seed matchup should be a great one. And this was a great one as well. We will be back in a moment to talk with our Kelly Supply Company Player of the Game, Cole Warner, here on the Corn Belt League Network. Haymakers defeat the Royal Blue Dogs 1-0 and move on to the semifinals on Saturday behind an outstanding pitching performance from our Kelly Supply Company player of the game. Gave up just 2 hits and went the distance, throwing his second complete game in as many starts. It's Cole Warner, very familiar to this position. We talked to you just 2 weeks ago when you threw the complete game on July 17th, but this time it was very different for you. You'd need 123 pitches to get through that one and just over 80 pitches to go through this one. Just talk about your outing today and recap it for us.
Yeah, I was just trying to pitch to contact today. We had a couple quick innings from our hitters, so I was a little tired out there, but really just worked on pitching to contact, and it worked well.
He didn't allow any walks. He did hit the batter in the 7th inning, and that was really the first time that you were in any sort of trouble dealing with some long counts. It took you until 3-2 to finally get Eli McDonald. What were you feeling out there, mentally and physically out there in that 7th inning before we finished it off?
Yeah, I was hoping I got him out. I was a little tired, so it was a tough AB there to end it. Hit batter was tough, so it put a little pressure on me, but got that final out, and Zach made a good play. So.
Yeah, now in most of these size of outings where you go a long way and have a tremendous performance, your offense is helping you out a lot, but Tanner Durazo on the other side was tremendous for the Royal Blue Dogs, throwing 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and his pitch count was just as low as yours were per inning. So what was it like going up against that and having to go right back out there seemingly every half inning?
Yeah, I think our hitters are just kind of saving their hits for tomorrow, so it was quick innings, but we got that 1 run, and that was huge. I was really happy with that. Got me more comfortable on the mound, so that was awesome.
Yeah, so just talk about, before we let you go here, what is it that makes this Haymakers team so special, and why do you believe that your ball club could win these next 2 games and go the distance here?
I think we're just having fun out there. We got a good team this year. We got some good bats, got some good pitchers. We got Van Hill going tomorrow, so I'm excited to see that. I think pretty confident about tomorrow.
All right, another complete game for Cole Warner, our Kelly Supply Company player of the game, as the Haymakers take down the Royal Blue Dogs 1-0 in the third of our 4 quarterfinals. They move on to the semifinals, where they'll meet the Black Sox tomorrow. A reminder, coming up next, the final of our 4 quarterfinals, the Bombers and the Rail Riders on the Corn Belt League Network. Stay with us as we round it out here on a Friday evening.